What kind of shoes do you wear? Do you wear flip-flops? Well, guess what? If you don't wear flip-flops, you better get used to it, because today's lesson we're going to be learning about las sandalias, sandals. Do you remember back in Spanish 1 when you learned about verbs that were known as boot verbs? Remember? They were verbs that they only went through changes in the boot. And so everything outside of the boot, which was just the nosotros form essentially, did not go through a change. But everything in the boot went through a vowel change. For example, if you remember the verb dormir, to sleep, that in the present tense to say I sleep, as in I sleep 5 hours every night. If you think of the boot, the O in dormir would go to a UE in all those forms. Duermo, duermes, duerme. Dormimos, duermen. The only form that did not change to a UE was the O in the nosotros form. Alright? But now we're not dealing with the present tense, we're dealing with the past tense. So now we're going to get into some verbs that their endings are going to be pretty much like our regular AR, ER, and IR verbs, but they just have some internal vowel changes. Again, these verbs are so academically irregular, they need a vowel movement. Alright, so let's take, for example, the verb dormir. What does that mean? Dormir, to sleep. To sleep. Alright? So, watch this. You should be able to do the yo form of dormir. You know the IR endings in the preterite in the past tense. What is it? Yo dormí. Yeah, just an I. What about tú? Tú dormiste. I-S-T-E. See? It's an IR verb. It's still following those patterns. I, iste. Let's do nosotros next. Nosotros, what would we do for that? Dormimos, just like in the present tense. No change there, right? Well, look right here. And don't make fun of my drawing. This is Spanish, this is not art. Okay, that's going to be like a little toenail. And this is going to be like the heel. Alright, so that is supposed to be a flip-flop. I know the person need to get a pedicure. Don't be getting on my case. Alright, so we've got our él and our ellos form here. So we're still going to use the same endings for an IR verb. Okay? The same endings that we normally would. But instead of using an O, we're going to use a U. Not a UE. That's the present tense. So in the past tense, here, let me write the pretérito. The O will just simply go to a U for dormir. The O will go to a U. So if that's the case, what's this going to be? Durmió. Durmió. Okay? And then over here, apply that same principle. You're going to have durmieron. So you see, you're still using the same endings. I, iste, io, imos, ieron. These are just some changes that these verbs have to incur. Just like in English, there's certain things you just have to know it's spelled that way, right? If you try to make sense out of all of this, I mean, you could if you wanted to get down into detail, but that would probably just be more confusing than just accepting it for what it is. Just remember, for dormir, in the él and the ellos form, or simply the flip-flop, that O is going to go to a U. Okay? So, we've got dormí, dormiste, durmió, dormimos, durmieron. ¿Cuántas horas dormiste anoche? How many hours did you sleep last night? Yo dormí 7 horas. I slept 7 hours. Rafael, ¿cuántas horas durmió tu papá? Rafael, How many hours did your dad sleep? He could say, mi papá durmió 4 horas. My dad slept 4 hours. Okay? So again, this is what I'm meaning by the flip-flop. Beautiful, right? So let's take another verb for example. Let's take the verb pedir. Okay? We'll take the verb pedir, which means to ask for or to order. Okay? So we've got pedir, and I'll let you know that the E is going to go to an I, okay, in the flip-flop. So everything else is regular. I ordered a Coke last night. Yo pedí una Coca-Cola. ¿Y tú? ¿Qué pediste en el restaurante? What did you order in the restaurant? Pediste. Nosotros pedimos agua. We ordered water. Pedimos. Alright? But now look right here. Let's look at our flip-flop. Okay? So, if I'm in the L form and I want to say that Juan ordered wine, I would say what? Juan, not pedio, but Juan pidió. Juan pidió vino. And if I say that the ellos form, José y Ana, ¿qué? Pidieron Coca-Cola. José y Ana pidieron Coca-Cola. So they ordered Coke. You see, we're not using the E anymore in these two. We're changing that E to I. And I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. You're like, Mr. Lee, how in the world would we know what goes to what? Well, thanks for asking. On the final exam, I will let you know specifically what verbs you would need to know by memory, because our book gives us a big old long list of verbs that follow this kind of pattern. So I'm not going to make you learn all of those verbs for the final exam. Okay? Just want you to be aware of all of them, looking over them, being familiar with their meanings and all. But as far as their forms, I'm not going to make you learn every single verb. Okay? So I'll let you know that later on, closer to the final exam. But I will say this. If you are trying to practice one of these verbs, if you look in your books on page 279, where it says the preterite of stem changing verbs, and you look at those verbs, and in your additions, the verb should probably have a letter in red in its infinitive form. For example, the very first word or verb I see here is conseguir, to obtain. So you see there's a red letter in E. Alright? And then over in parentheses, over to the right, you'll see another red letter in parentheses, and in this case it's an I. And so simply what that's meaning is that I is going to replace that E in the flip-flop. Let's look down here at dormir. Okay? Well, we just did that on the board a second ago, but you see the O is in red in dormir, and over in parentheses you'll see there's a U in red. So that means that the U replaces the O in the flip-flop. In all of those forms, you'll also see in parentheses the present tense form of those particular verbs. I don't think that was a good idea. The authors of the book had to do that, but that's just my humble opinion. Okay? It's probably just confusing people. So don't worry about the verb form that's in parentheses right there. That's the present tense form. We're in the past tense. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Okay? So again, any of those changes you want to make to any of those verbs, look out in parentheses beside each verb. Look at that red letter. That red letter in parentheses takes the place of the red letter inside the verb. But only in what form? The flip-flop. The él and the ellos forms. Okay? So see how you can do with that, and I'll see you next time. Bye.